What are they doing?
Are you serious? Sarge? Sarge, come out the car. Come out the car. Stay standing outside the car.
The officer is like, are you serious? Are you serious? First of all, it's not a great question to ask. It's not that descriptive, right?
Any injuries, anything like that? No? All right. But she's probably going to repeat that. Yeah, she repeat.
Yeah, they're fucking with the audio and the video. All right, I get it now. They're going to battle on this one. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm going to be watching a video here from Law and Crime. This is just a video that's out there on YouTube. I have never seen it before. I'm going to watch it and give you my real reaction. I'll pause along the way, tell you what I'm seeing, and you can let me know if I'm right or wrong in the comments.
Come out the car.
Me?
Come out the car.
Go ahead.
Are you serious?
I'm good.
Are you serious?
I'm good.
Come to the back of the car. Are you serious? Sarge? Really? You see how you're driving?
I have a friend with me.
So they pulled over their sergeant. Is that what we're talking? He's saying, because yeah, I heard him saying Sarge. I don't know if I thought he's talking with another officer on scene. Maybe he's talking to the defendant. We've had a string of these lately. Cops getting in trouble with the cops. All right. Just looks like a traffic stop. Pulled over in the left turn lane, I guess. 2 a.m., it appears, a couple months ago. Don't know where, but the officer is like, are you serious? Are you serious? First of all, it's not a great question to ask. It's not that descriptive, right? But whatever, it doesn't matter. But oftentimes I see cops get pissed, right, when they pull someone over. I have no idea if it's warranted or not, but it sounds like this cop is a little frustrated with this person already. It seems like based on their driving. That's all I know at this point.
Hold on. Sarge, come out the car. Come out the car. Stay standing outside the car. Smith. All right. We're gonna be performing some field sobriety testing today. Okay. Are you willing to take these tests?
Absolutely.
So, are you wearing any? You wearing any contacts?
No.
No. Okay. So, what about your shoes? Would you like to take your shoes off?
No.
No? Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here. Any injuries or anything like that? No? All right. So first thing we're gonna do, I need you to you. Huh? Oh, hold on. I'll be back. All right, Smith.
So I mean, you was starting sobriety test. You started sobriety test because the sergeant told you not to.
Yes, they advised me that Miramar is coming to take over.
Okay.
I mean, I started and now.
So in the middle of the sobriety test, it told you no, right?
Yeah, he told me to stop. My sergeant told me to stop. So.
Conflict of interest?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. He told me to stop, and I'm just advising you that Miramar is coming to take over.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, all right. I don't know anything more than you guys know here. We're going with the Sarge. Come on, Sarge. You serious? Was in reference to her. She's a sergeant with some local police agency. I assume, because the conflict of interest thing, the same department that is questioning her right now. That's my current take on it. You guys will certainly tell me if I'm wrong, but this is what I see. In which case, yes, it typically is a conflict of interest in the sense that, or at least just taints the investigation, right? It may not be an actual conflict, but the appearance of a conflict is really what matters here in the beginning. And yeah, if you can get another agency, the sheriff or the state police, oftentimes, or even just the next town over, to conduct the investigation, that at least removes the appearance of a potential conflict of interest or tainted investigation, right? Favorable treatment. So makes sense. And there's nothing inherently wrong with starting the fields, which doesn't even seem like they've started. At least not what I saw. Not inherently wrong with that, as long as, if it's really chopped up in pieces and a lot of confusion, then sure, you can say like, dude, they didn't even conduct this right. But there's nothing inherently wrong with them starting some of them and then having someone else come in and start again from the beginning.
I said I'll write this shit up.
What are they doing? Cuffing her?
Is your badge in there? Where's your license on? Yeah, they female. Is it in your purse? No. Just put it in the car and fucking. Somebody want to give your jewelry and stuff? License? The sergeant is action. I'm a sergeant too. Okay. Deal.
I don't know if I got my license. I got my number for you. You need my number?
You have a police badge or police ID? Holloway. So she refused everything? Okay. I didn't ask you for the breath test yet. Okay. But she probably gonna refuse that. Yeah, she refused.
Yeah, they're fucking with the audio and the video. All right, I get it now. This has been hard to piece together. We did not edit this. This is straight from Law and Crime and what they have out there on the internet. We'll link to the original video here. So it's been difficult to piece together, but it seems like, yeah, the officers cut out a video. And I mean, it's a button. It's mounted right here, body-worn camera. They can cover it up. They can turn it off. Like, they're allowed to turn it off. Like, for example, an officer's on duty. He's going to the bathroom. He's allowed to turn it off, right? We don't want to see that. So my point is that these cameras do have the functionality of an officer just pressing a button and turning them off, like you would expect, like any other device. It doesn't run automatically 24/7. So you can turn it off. There's a log of that in the log books of these. And you can just see what's captured and what's not. It was manually turned off, or the audio was covered up, or the audio was clicked off. It seems like there's a lot of instances of that, so much so that I can't really even piece this together. Seems like she was asked to do the field sobriety tests later by the next town, Miramar, it seemed like. That's not on video, at least that we see. It seems like she refused that. That's not on video. Handcuffing her, that's fine. And she's standing there just talking to him. And then the cops again start covering it up, covering up the audio or turning it off, or playing some games. So terrible choice by those arresting officers if that's what they're doing. Yeah, the audio's off. Covering up the camera. He knows. So the officer's cutting off the video or audio, right? And specifically there, he cut off, I think, his conversation with another arresting officer. So what typically happens, right, is you leave the defendant there, and this time she's in handcuffs or whatever, and officers are talking amongst themselves all the time. Nothing wrong with that. They're comparing observations. What did you see? What did I see, right? That's how an investigation works. There's nothing wrong with that. Where it becomes wrong is when they're hiding it, right? And they're covering up the audio or the video, because that is part of the investigation. And at least the rules here in Chicago and Illinois state that that is part of what should be on video. The officers do not get to just turn that off and exclude that. There can be some really good information there for the prosecution too, like officers talking about all their observations and their probable cause for making the arrest. That's really helpful and supportive of the prosecution. We've also seen the opposite. We've seen ones where, for example, an officer's telling the driver, like, you smell like alcohol, I can smell it on your breath, how much have you had you drink? And then a few minutes later, the officers are talking amongst themselves and they're like, I didn't smell anything, right? So that can be exculpatory evidence on behalf of the defense, right? So whatever it is, we deserve to see those things. And so it seems like there was some impropriety there in turning it off. Now, I get it that this is for, at least in the arresting officer's mind, for the benefit of the defendant. Super rare. That obviously never happens unless they're trying to protect one of their own, which is what it appears to be here. But either way, it's improper by the arresting officer, whatever his motive is. which it seems here maybe is to try to somewhat cut a break or limit the amount of evidence that's on audio and video for their own. Perhaps trying to help the driver by covering up video, totally improper, but the defendant trying to get out of this, saying that these officers, even the ones who were maybe trying to help her by limiting the video evidence, had it out to get her. I mean, they're making the arguments they got to make in order to cover their own ass. But I don't know if she's drunk or not, but she certainly acted a little goofy in the sense of, many times, I'll just say this, I have seen many people fall asleep in the back of a police car. Usually they were intoxicated one way or another. These sort of boastful, I'll get you, I'm right, sort of off the wall mood swings are definitely indicators of impairment as well. I mean, you've seen those people at the bar wanting to pick a fight with everybody, pounding their chest, right? That is an indicator of impairment. It's not foolproof, right? But those are indicators. So do I think she was drunk? Yeah, I do. And I think she's making up any arguments she can here in order to get her ass out of it. And because of the terrible job that her own agency did, either for her or against her, just the terrible job in general that they did, it's now a big mess.
The sergeant taken to jail on 2 traffic citations.
I ain't never been to jail. It's a good experience for me, though. I can tell my kids about this.
Smith's attorney also claims the arrest is retribution because she's a whistleblower, but he did not want to specify, saying it will all come out in trial. Miami Gardens police say Smith does not reflect the agency as a whole, and they relieved her of duty. In Miami, Christian Colon, NBC6 News.
Interesting whistleblower stuff. So, I mean, they're making, I have no idea if she was a whistleblower or not, right? And maybe they were targeting her. I have no idea. But the one thing I do know is their defense counsel is pulling out all the stops on this one. And maybe rightfully so, right? But it certainly didn't help the police agency that they're covering up and turning off video. No mention of that in the news report because defense counsel is probably not raising that issue, right? They're probably happy that there's less on video, right? They're at least at this point not bringing it up. So super confusing one, just because of the covering up of the videos here and the back and forth and who the players are. All right, I'm going to do 3 grades. One for the driver. I think I'm going to give her a D. I don't know. She wasn't falling down sloppy drunk, right? I'm not going to sit here and just armchair guess and say she was driving under the influence, although kind of think she may have been. So that's why she's getting the low grade. But she just seems to have gotten pulled over, said some goofy stuff, but then pulled it together, refused the field, stood there, and even questioned him on why she was no longer asked to do the fields, why Miramar was coming in. She in the end she refused to do the fields, which is what I would recommend. So average grade there. I don't know, a C. But then she gets in the back of the cop car and is running her mouth, falling asleep. So she's getting knocked down to a D or maybe even an F. I don't know enough. If I would have seen the whole video, I'd probably be given an F, but we'll go for a D for now. All right, the arresting officers from the town that she's in, they have to get an F. It seems to me, and I don't have all the sort of analysis here. I don't have they literally have a logbook of all the times the camera's on and off, and that'll tell the story 100%. I don't have any of that here. It just appears to me that the officer, at least one, was covering up his camera and stuff. So you get an F for that. That is improper, and you get an F for that officer. Miramar, I didn't even see their investigation, right? I don't even know, but it sounds like they just came in, conducted their DUI investigation. She refused. They made the arrest, and that's that. So I don't know, man. This is a cluster of a case. All right, guys, I don't really like this one, right? If I'm going to be asked to analyze a case, I want to see everything. And I didn't. And I don't think it's necessarily Law and Crime's fault here. I think they just posted what they had, or most of it, parts of it. But I couldn't really see. Typically, just so you know, in a if I were representing this client in a normal case, we would see the body, we would get and be entitled to the body worn camera of all those officers involved, right? The dash cameras too. Those squads, they had dash cameras. I'm sure of it. Every officer had body worn camera. We saw one guy playing with it, covering it up, but what about all these other officers? What about Miramar who showed up? They have dash cam and body worn cam. What about the radio communications between these different agencies and departments, right? All of those things matter. I want to see her driving. Did they catch her driving on body worn camera? Right? All those things I need to see in order to give a real assessment. Now, don't get me wrong, it didn't stop me from commenting on this, but I don't love this one. It doesn't sit right with me because I feel like I only have half the picture. And that may be because of the edits and stuff, or that may just be because so much video evidence was not captured, right? In other words, the officers turned it off or covered it up, and there's just not enough to go on. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to bet you that this one's going to court and going to trial based on the defense attorney statements and sort of the posture and some of the accusations that are being thrown around here. They're going to battle on this one.